Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, this is Muhammad Jahangir Alam, Assistant Teacher, Cantonment Public School and College, Saidpur. As a continuous online class going on, I have delivered 12 lectures so far. Today I will be discussing about another lecture which is based on the universe, chapter 8, part 2. Okay, in our previous classes, we learned about the definition of universe, the definition of astronomy, telescope, how the day and night occurs, what is rotation, what is revolution, axis. So we learned about the primary concept of the chapter universe. Today we'll be discussing about the season. How does the season changes? As we know that there are 6 seasons exist in Bangladesh. What are those? Summer, the rainy season, autumn, late autumn, winter, and spring. Okay, so if we want to understand the changes of seasons, okay, so why it actually happens and how does the season changes, if we go through the rotation and the revolution of the earth, by that process we can understand that why the season changes. Okay, so if you want to do the experiment, why the season changes, why some part of the year is known as summer and the other is known as winter. So you just need to have a globe to represent the earth, and erasable marker pen, measuring tape, and a bright torch to represent the sun. Then make a table like one shown below, and then length of the day in centimeter, length of the night in centimeter, the north pole toward the flashlight, and the north pole away from the flashlight. So what you need to do, using the marker, you have to draw a circle line along the latitude so that the line passes through Bangladesh, and place the flashlight on the table, and then place the globe like the picture A as shown below, and using the measuring tape, using the measuring tape, you have to measure the length of the circular line that is in the day and in the night, and record it in the table. So place the globe like the picture B as shown below. Using the measuring tape, you have to measure the length of the circular line that is in day and in night and record it in the table. Share your idea with your classmate as well as your teacher. So what is the process that actually you can get by this experiment? Okay, so have a look. We know that the earth used to rotate like this. Okay, so keeping the sun in the center, the earth used to rotate like this in an orbital motion. So the tilt of the earth, look at this. The earth is tilted about 23.5 degree. So the tilt of the earth exists and its orbit around the sun causes season. So if any question arises that what causes season change, then what will you write? You just write the tilt of the earth exists and its orbit around the sun causes seasons. As the earth revolves around the sun, different parts of the earth tilt towards or away from the sun. Okay, so this is the most important reason why the season changes. Okay, have a look. What happens during the summer? Okay, so the earth is used to go further from the sun in the northern hemisphere. Okay, the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, and that is why on that northern hemisphere, on that particular time, the season belongs to, that is known as summer. So when the northern hemisphere tilts towards the sun, it is summer there. In summer, the sunlight shines more directly on the northern half of the earth, giving more energy, and the sun appears to rise higher in the sky. This causes the temperature to rise and the period of daytime to be longer. So opposite season occurs in the southern hemisphere, and it is winter there. Okay, so if the summer exists in the northern hemisphere, on the same time the winter will be on the southern hemisphere. Okay, so moving forward to the next one. So have a look what happens during the winter. So when the Earth is slightly closer to the Sun, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the Sun, and that is as it is going away from the Sun. So then what will happen? The temperature will reduce. That is why the winter season will be there. Okay, so when the northern hemisphere tilts away from the Sun, it is winter there. In winter, sunlight hits that part of the Earth less directly, and the Sun appears to rise lower in the sky. The temperature is lower, and the period of daytime is shorter, but the period of night gets longer. Okay, so what are the changes in the atmosphere we can see during the winter? The temperature used to get less, and the period of daytime used to get shorter, but the period of night gets longer. Okay, so from by the previous slide and this one, we just get the differences between summer and winter in the northern hemisphere. So now we will be discussing about the phases of the moon. Okay, so we know that the moon is the only satellite of the earth. Okay, so did you know the moon was created when the earth got hit by a large object? Okay, so uh, if you ask me that where from I get that source of information, look, most of the scientists used to believe this, that moon was created when the earth got hit by a large object. Okay, so have a look. We know that the moon is the satellite, the only satellite of the earth. So the moon seems big or small and round or half round shaped on some nights. Okay, the changing shapes of the bright part of the moon that we see are called the phases of the moon. So why do the phases of the moon happen? Okay, if you want to do that, you can just use the experiment that you can see on the picture, the activity, the phases of a ball. By doing that experiment, you can get a little bit of idea about the phases of the phases of the moon. So why the phases of the moon changes, and what are the different names of the phases of the moons? So we will be learning that. Okay, so just I'm trying to show you how the phases of the moon changes, and the different names of the phases of the moon. As we know that the moon can be in 8 phases. Okay, so what are the phases? Starts with new moon, then waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, third quarter, waning crescent, new moon. Okay, so have a look. New moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, third quarter, waning crescent, new moon. Okay, so look, the new moon. So look at this, the student view. When the moon is supposed to be in a form or in a phase, the new moon, have a look. We just get just only a few. Only we just can see a few mark on the sky for that new moon. Okay, then what about waxing crescent moon? Look, have a look. Just in one side we can see the, look at this, the one side we can see the shape, this shape, waxing crescent like shape. That is why this is known as waxing crescent moon. And the next one supposed to be the first quarter moon. Okay, the next one is waxing gibbous moon. By the view of student, look at this as I have shown you, by the side view as well as the front view. So you just have to concentrate on both the views. If you just look at these slides, you will be getting a clear concept of that one. So full moon, that bright full moon. Okay, so how did it look like by the side view as well as the front view? All is given or shown here. Now the waning gibbous moon, the last quarter moon, and the waning crescent moon, and the new moon. Okay, so the moon in rotation, the moon doesn't give off its own light. We know that. Instead, it reflects the sun's light. So the light we see from the moon is coming out. That is not its own light. It's used to get its light from the sun. Okay, so half of the moon is always lighted by the sun, but as the moon orbits around the earth, the area of the lighted side facing the earth changes. This changes causes the phases of the moon. We can only see the lighted side. We can only see the lighted side of the moon. When we can see full side of the lighted moon, this is known as full moon. When we can't see any of the lighted side, that is called a new moon. So the phases of the moon are given here. So if I start with the full moon, then after the full moon we got waxing gibbous, then the last quarter, then the waxing crescent, then the new moon, then the waning crescent, then the first quarter, and then the waning gibbous, and after that the full moon. So the position and the phases of the moon are shown here, which is this page has been taken from your textbook. So you will get this thing in your textbook also. So we learned about the phase of the moon. Okay, now come towards the next topic. So the moon is slowly moving away from the earth, and that is 3.7 centimeter or 1.5 inches per year. And another question, that an eclipse takes place when earth or the moon passes through a shadow. Okay, hope you enjoy this extra informations, and thank you very much for watching the classes.